There we go. Hi, everybody. This is Barbara Drazga, aka the Deal Diva, and tonight we are going to talk about we're going to do an unscripted brainstorming session. I have a few guidelines that we'll talk about in a second, but this session is how to come up with creative product and niche market ideas, so that you can start your research on Amazon to find out what kind of niche products that you can search for to find profitable products on Amazon or Shopify or eBay. So it's basically just kind of a shake it loose session to help you think a little bit more creatively and differently. I know we're also focused on doing our job and working at our business all day, that sometimes we just forget to let loose a little bit, have some fun. And when you're brainstorming, it can be a lot of fun, and some cool stuff can come up that you hadn't expected or that you wouldn't normally think of. So tonight, we've got the spotlight on. How do you like that? We have the spotlight on, doing some brainstorming in order to identify niche products and markets to sell online. So go ahead and say hi in the chat, everybody. Again, I'm Barbara Drazga, aka the Deal Diva. You can join me on Facebook. I have a group called Deal Diva Barbara, and it's facebook.com/groups/Deal Diva. You can also check out, I wrote some articles and I've done some fun videos like this, including 2 other fanatical niche market research videos just in the past week and a half. And they're uploaded at dealdivawholesale.com. That's dealdivawholesale.com, and just click on the video link, and there's all sorts of articles in there about sourcing and talking to suppliers and just fun stuff like this. So go ahead and go over there and troll through the site and enjoy. So again, my name is Barbara Drazga, and we're just going to jump right in. This is going to be a participatory, say that 3 times fast, webinar. So it's fairly unscripted, but there are some rules of the road here. So the first rule is get paper and pen, because this is going to go fast. When I get going with idea generation, it's just seriously fast and furious. And you're going to want to take notes. Not only take notes on what I'm saying, but also, take a look in the chat, because you guys are going to start interacting with each other there, and write down some ideas from there. And then you'll have your own ideas based on what's going on in this brainstorming session. You're going to come up with some stuff of your own. Write that down. So make sure you have a piece of paper and a pen, and get focused. Shine your spotlight on learning and brainstorming and having fun. So some guidelines. Some guidelines for brainstorming. Brainstorming is a term that's just tossed around, and everybody's got their own way of doing it, but I actually have a secondary degree in creative problem solving and leadership and facilitation. I know it's a mouthful, from State University College of Buffalo, and so I kind of actually know the rules of brainstorming. So first and foremost, there's no judgment. Everything goes. There's no negativity. There's no, oh, that will never work. Not even in your own brain, okay? So you have to suspend judgment, it's called, and everything is a valid idea. Because what we want to do is throw a lot of stuff out there, and there are 2 phases to creative problem solving. There's the divergent phase, where we just generate a lot of stuff and throw a lot of stuff up, and then there's the convergent phase, where we take, and when we've kind of got enough stuff to work with, then we have some tools that we can put on all those ideas to come out with a smaller set of more viable ideas that we can implement right away. Does that make sense? Put yes in the chat. So it's kind of weird talking to a computer with a light on my head and feeling like I'm talking to myself. So go ahead and say yes in the chat. So I know you guys are all in here. Awesome. Yes, we got some yeses. Good stuff. So pay attention, guys. We're ready to get started. So a couple things I want you to think of is, I want you to consider. Consider that ideas are all around you. The stuff, you don't have to, go deeper, go out to and ask other people. You can just look around your house. For instance, you see this purple Christmas tree behind me? So I bought that the day before Christmas for like $3 at a Goodwill, because I thought it would be really cute for a Valentine's Day tree and then an Easter tree. So I'll hang little hearts from it, I'll hang some eggs from it, right? So ideas are everywhere. And the things that we're going to start, the props that I brought that I'm sharing with you tonight, are in my house. For one reason or another, they're either part of my decor or something I found in an auction house, like Mr. Rooster from an auction house, or this guy here was a liquidation buy of Brinkman headlights, right? So you're just going to look around your house to start getting ideas, and I'm going to show you how you can look at something that you've looked at every single day for the past 3 years and never looked at differently. You're going to see it differently by the time we're done. So let's just get started. Let's just jump in. And like I said, this is fairly unscripted. The purpose of it is to teach you some tools that you can then go use on your own, okay? So the outcome will be we'll have a lot of cool niche product and market ideas, but it's really important that you start understanding how I do this so that you can go do it on your own. Make sense? Okay, let's jump in. It feels seriously weird to talk to my computer and there's nobody talking back to me. Anyway, okay, so let's start with this headlight. So what I want you to do is look at things that are around your house like this headlight, and maybe your husband's got something like this in his garage that he uses when he's fixing his car or whatever, and you want to ask yourself questions like, who uses something like this? So go ahead and put in the chat, who would use a headlight like this? It's got a white light, and it's got an infrared red light so you can see things in the dark. Who might use, and it attaches to my head, and this is a bungee thing, right? So it's adjustable, so it can be worn by different sized heads. So go ahead and write in the chat, who might use something like this? Go ahead and write. This is interactive, guys. So of course, somebody who's maybe working in a garage or working on cars or building something in the dark. How about electrical workers, right? With all these down power lines and everything from all the weather that we're having in a lot of parts of the country, and it attaches to the head so you don't need your hands. So how about somebody who rides a bicycle all the time? How about bike messengers, right? So what you want to do is you want to start asking questions about who uses this product, because there could be completely different demographics. Now what you're doing with that information is you're building keyword lists, right? So you might find a product that you think is just for people who fix cars, but when you really think about it, how about spelunking, right? People who like to dig around in caves. Now once you have a list of who uses something like this, then you want to ask yourself, well, what else do they use? And you start generating even more lists under all of those who might use this. Then you want to start brainstorming, okay, what else does a spelunker need? Spelunker, is that even a word? I'm sure they call them cave dweller, cave climber, or whatever. What else do they need? So they need all sorts of materials in order and equipment to help them get into a cave. And why? Now you want to ask yourself, why are they in that cave? Well, maybe they study the life cycle of bats, for example, just off the top of my head. Why else would they be in the cave? Maybe they're looking for precious minerals. I just went to a show today, a wholesale show, a trade show, and there was one exhibitor, a couple of exhibitors actually, that had these really cool geodes, those things that you break in half. They actually had some whole ones. I bought a couple of them just so I could take a hammer to them and see what's in them, right? So now we're off on another tangent, right? So now we're off into people who love minerals and rocks and crystals. Okay, so let's apply this. Who likes crystals? And why do they like them? Maybe people who do meditation or want to balance their chakra. Now, what else do those kind of people use? So do you see what I'm doing here? I'm starting off with one type of product, and I'm asking myself questions like, who uses this? And then who else uses this? And who else uses this? And who else uses this? And then ask, well, why do they use it? Why do they use it? And then what else do they use? So you can find some really funky, cool niche markets just by exploring your own brain, really exploring your own mind and kind of letting loose a little bit and not worrying about whether it's a valid idea. Now, what if you were to type in spelunking equipment into Amazon for giggles, right? And then see what comes up. I haven't done it. This is all unscripted. Okay, so let's start with my buddy, and I think I'm going to have a contest to name him. He is a taxidermy rooster that I got in an auction for $12. I love him. I can't bear to sell him. He's worth a few $100s on eBay, and I just can't let him go. It's kind of freaky, right? He's a little bit freaky. I used to have him on my front porch when I first got him last year, and somebody actually drove by, stopped the car, got out and took a picture, and I came out. I was like, what are you doing? And she says, oh, my mother's sister's daughter-in-law had a chicken just like that, and the chicken's name was Herbert, and we love that chicken. She had this whole story behind it, right? So I decided I had to keep him. Because, okay, so let's use this target market. Who would use something like this, right? Maybe taxidermists. There you go. Type in taxidermy into Amazon and see what comes up. Now, what else do people who do taxidermy, what else do they need? I'm sure there are tools related to stuffing animals. Don't know what they might be, but go search on Amazon to find out. And then find out who the brand owners are for some of those tools, approach them, talk about niche market, right? And see whether or not they'll allow you to carry your tools, or how you can, not whether, negotiate with them to see whether or not you can, or how you can carry their product, sorry. So what else can we take from this guy? He's got a bill, right? He's got a beat, we call it a bill. Okay, so here's something silly you can do. You just take a word like bill, and you start rhyming. So what rhymes with bill? Toss it in the chat. What rhymes with bill? I can't see the chat so much without my glasses. But go ahead, and what rhymes with bill? Give me some words that rhymes with bill. Kids, cooking, outside workers. Okay, keep it coming. Hiker, hunter, pill. All right, now let's go with pill. All right, so pill can mean a lot of things, right? So bed sheets that don't pill. A pill that you take. Why do you take that pill? And what else do you need? If you take pills, do you need maybe those little pill boxes? Or maybe you need a device that tells you when you need to take your pill. And why are you taking pills? I mean, that's a huge one. Why are you taking pills? You could create just an entire brainstorming session to answer the question, why do people take pills? And then what else can they take besides a pill? That's a whole nother brainstorming session. Do you get what I mean? So let's keep moving on here. Let's say, okay, this, guys, is the first product that I ever sold on Amazon. So I was kind of scared. I was overwhelmed when I started on Amazon, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do, but I've got these dog toys, these rubber chicken dog toys. I'm going to send 3 of them into Amazon to practice putting together a shipment. So I still have some of these guys. I didn't make a whole lot of money on them, but I sent 3 in a bubble pack just to get practice, and I think they're the coolest thing. So it's a rubber chicken dog toy. What could we do with this? By the way, if you go to YouTube after this webinar and you type in rubber chicken music, there are people who have actually, it's hysterical. It's on my my private page, Barbara Drazga on Facebook, and there are like six guys that sit around the table, and they make this entire like techno song using rubber chickens. It's absolutely mesmerizing. So what else can you use a rubber chicken for? To make music, right? A dog toy, of course, but what else can you use it for? Maybe you can use it for kids who are learning how to be veterinarians, right? And this could be like a model for how to diagnose the sickness of a chicken. Who knows? But you want to get really fun and have a good time brainstorming like this. Because, okay, so now look at this. The first thing that comes to mind is this is a straw. So somebody go search into Amazon, rubber chicken straw. Now what other funky straws can you, and then can you put a straw with a rubber chicken children's cup, a sippy cup? How about a rubber chicken sippy cup? So do you see where I'm going with this? You want to ask, well, what else could this be used for? And what does this look like? You know, how else could this be used? And start dissecting things, like I just did with this poor rubber chicken, right? And the only reason I know that this comes off is because my cat managed to pull one apart at one point in time. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Okay, so it can also be a cat toy, right? Rubber chicken cat toy. So let's keep going. I've got some more stuff here. How about this? Okay, so what is this? This is a knit or a crocheted kind of shawl. I actually use it. I have a mid-century modern white Christmas tree, and I use this as the Christmas skirt. So we can do all sorts of stuff with this. This is knit or crocheted. Okay, so what rhymes with knit? Or what rhymes with green? So how about kit, bit? Who uses bits? People put bits in horses' mouths, right? A bit could be a smaller part of something. Okay, so horse lovers, what kind of equipment do horse lovers need? They need bits, they need leather harnesses, they need, you know, sponges to wash their horses. So all of this stuff is just a starting keyword to go on Amazon and start digging. Because here's what happens. When people take these wholesale courses, they all kind of enter the searching on Amazon from the same spot. The movers and shakers, the best sellers, which is a great start, but do you really want to be starting where everybody else is starting, right? So if you could just start thinking a little bit more creatively, you can just start in a whole different, like, different rabbit hole than they might never ever get to, because they have a different starting point. I'm going pretty fast, aren't I? Is everybody okay? Do I need to slow down, pause, answer some questions here? I'm sensing a theme here, Barbara. I think you love chickens. Drill bit, there you go, a drill bit. So knit, bit, drill bit, what do people use drill bits for? And what else do they use, right? Who might use a drill bit? I don't actually love chickens, but there are people who absolutely love chickens. Any of you guys doing merch designs, right? So there's like this whole subculture of chicken lovers. Go ahead and do some research on what kind of t-shirts are out there, and then create a design for chicken lovers and put that up on merch. Are you doing create space? Maybe you could do your own little notebook thing with I love chickens on the front of it, right? And it's just an empty book, and you can do that on create space. So what you want to do is just start going down these rabbit holes on your own. Let's look what I have. Wait. How about this? Okay, I can do it with really like simple basic things. What is this? It's a clothespin. All right, so what does somebody use a clothespin for? And get past the obvious. So clothing, right? Well, you know why I have these? Because I sell these big 27-inch square cork boards, wood-framed cork boards. I got them, a couple of pallets of them at an auction last year, and so I was trying to find some creative way. They're selling great, but I have so many of them. I thought, well, in order to market them, I'm not just going to market them as cork boards. On some of them, I pop out the cork, and we put some, we staple on the back some jute string we got at the dollar store, and then these pins go on the jute string, so you can hang cards and postcards and letters and you know, theater tickets from the jute string. And that's why I have these guys, right? Random in my eBay room, they're sitting in there. So I just grabbed one thinking, what can we do with a clothespin? What else can a clothespin be used for? How about, just thought of this. This is going to hurt. I know it is. Oh, now why would someone do this other than being really crazy like me? Why would someone stick a clothespin on their nose? Well, because something smells. Well, what smells? Onions. What else smells? Skunk. Okay, now think about it. Onions smell. Is there a device that you can sell for people who cook, who love to cook, that reduces the onion smell, but it doesn't look like a clothespin? What else do we say? Onion skunks. Maybe there's a special soap or a spray, a skunk spray. If somebody gets sprayed with skunk by a skunk, is there a detergent that you can sell? So do you see what I'm doing with this? Does everybody understand where I'm going? I know I'm going real fast. Tell me you understand what I'm getting at here. Put it in the chat. I got it. Put it in the chat, guys. Need to see that you're in the room with me. Yay, Mary Jo, Brent, how you doing? Keep going, Carolyn. Okay, so let's just keep going. I want to give you guys a ton of ideas to start kind of searching for, and then I really want you to start looking at your own ideas. So I totally forgot I bought these. And I got these at an auction again last year, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's Princess Diana, right? Princess Diana, but they're stamps, right? So I thought, this is really cool. I forgot I had these, right? So they're postage stamps, I think, or collector stamps. Okay, people who collect things, there's a word for that. It always sounds dirty to me. Still something or other. But people who collect stamps, right? Well, what do they need? They need stamp albums. They need tweezers. Maybe they need special gloves so that they don't get the oil on stamps. Who else needs that kind of stuff? How about people who make jewelry? People who collect coins. What else do they need? Maybe they need one of those little loop things, right? So they can zoom in. So you want to ask yourself, who uses this? Who else would need this? What kind of things do they need in order to do this? What are my other questions? Let's see. What else? Why? Why do they collect stamps? because maybe they can't get around so much. Maybe they're in a wheelchair. You know, maybe they're housebound or maybe they're afraid to go out. There's a word for that too. I can't remember what it is, but somebody who doesn't like to go outside, right? So what other things do these people need? And just start making a list, start brainstorming a list to answer these questions I'm asking you. So okay, so I got something here that, this is stuff I put under my eyes because I have these dark circles under my eyes. I've had them since I was like 2 years old, but it certainly ages me when I don't have some cover up underneath. And I was running out of this, called it Race Pace, and it's almost empty, so I put it on my desk here so I could go on Amazon and order it. But why would somebody use this? Maybe, so I'm in my 50s, so I want to look younger, and I want to look healthy and look good. And so what else do women of a certain age, what else do women I hate the term middle age because I don't feel, boomer women, there we go, we'll call me boomer because I'm like right on the cusp. So what else do boomer women want? And talk about a niche market. Boomer women, not just boomers, but boomer women, they have all sorts of wants and need and disposable income. So why don't you guys go start doing some research on what boomer women want and need, not just need, but what they want. So, I want purses. I like purses. I don't know if that's a boomer thing, but, we all want to look good and smell good and feel sexy, and right? So what things do boomer women buy and why? And then once you answer the why, well, because I want to feel young. Then you ask, what else will make me feel young? Vitamins and minerals, supplements, organic food, clothing that fits a certain way or of a certain color or of a certain cut. Okay, so you guys see what I'm doing here? You got it? Good job. Thanks. Awesome. I'm just going to keep going until you put something in the chat telling me to slow down because I can really, let's see what else I got here. I got all sorts of props and stuff just laying around. All right, I got this at a yard sale a couple of months ago because I bought, behind me here is this really cool vintage, it's a record player that I need to get fixed. It's actually a radio and a record player. It's so cool. It pulls out, the needles in there. I got it in an auction for like 35 bucks. So excited. But I haven't refurbished it yet. I need to clean it up and fix it, and it'll just be kind of fun. But of course, if I have a record player, I'm going to need something to play on it. So at a yard sale, I saw this. How cool is this? This is like from when I was a kid, right? Rhythm tote from like the 70s. It's blue. It's got these two girls wearing like these penny loafers sitting there. So it's got records in it. Guys, check this out. Okay, so it's got records, and it's even got the little girl whose it was. Her name is Crystal. So it's got her name in there. You could go off with that. Who uses crystals? Okay, so people need replacement crystals for their chandeliers. Could you go source those somewhere? There's all sorts of shapes and sizes and cuts of crystals. What else is crystal? Glasses. So crystal glasses, wine glasses. Go source crystal wine glasses. Who uses crystal wine glasses? Wine connoisseurs. What else do they like? Okay, so they need things to open their bottles with, and etc. Okay, so let's look at just some of these. I'm just going to pull out Paul McCartney. Ooh, here we go. Just going to pull one out and read what it says here. It says Paul McCartney, Ebony and Ivory. How cool is this, right? We can have so much fun with this. So Ebony and Ivory, what memories does that conjure up? Because I know you all know this song, right? So what were you doing when Ebony and Ivory by Paul McCartney was out there? And what types of hobbies did you have? And what things were interesting to you? Ivory. Well, we can't do anything with ivory unless we do it with a color. So what's ivory? Wedding dresses. It could be a trend that people like wedding dresses now. So could you source maybe some bling jewelry that would go with an ivory wedding dress? Do you see what I mean? We can take pretty much anything and just sort of go off on tangents. And that's what brainstorming is about. So like I said, I'm not trying to give you so much specific ideas, although you can take these and run with them. But I really encourage you to start asking questions like, who uses this and why? Who else might use this and why? What else might those people use and why? And the more you ask those questions, the more fun it gets, because you start kind of getting the habit of looking at things differently. I don't know what else I have here. Oh, Yeah, I pulled this down because I really like this. This is a decor item. I'm weird. And you paint anything turquoise, blue, or mint green, and it's from the 50s, and I'll buy it. If it's vintage, I'll buy it if it's that color too. So look at this great toolbox. This is actually on a shelf in my living room because it just looks really cool. Right? Check this out. It's got all the scratch marks and everything. Can you imagine the guy who used this? How cool is this? Or the person who used this? Because it's not necessarily a guy. So who might use this really cool, look at that. So we got fishermen. How about, I could see my grandma, my German grandma, you know, she was very utilitarian. So, you know, they didn't have a lot of money growing up. They were immigrants. And she might use this as a sewing box, right? Or she might put kids' toys in it. When I was a kid, I'd go over there and play, right? And she'd have all these little figurines and beads and things. You could use this for kids' toys. So think about who might use something like this and why. So you go off on a tangent of kids' toys made out of beads, craft projects with beads. How about, let's see, what did we say, sewing? Well, there's a huge niche market. So if you really dissected the sewing market, you could have knitting, crochet, sewing, quilting is like $1 billion industry, according to Carolyn. Are you on here? There she is. Okay, huge, right? So what do people who sew need? They need sewing machines. Okay, so they have sewing machines. Their sewing machine breaks down and they're in the middle of a project. They need replacement parts. So I don't know, bobbins, whatever. Can you partner with a sewing machine company to sell their replacement parts on Amazon? Right? So, and then of course tools. How about a little girl? This is kind of like a industrial doll box to put her dolls in, and her little, you know, the little doll shoes, and right. So just look around your house, your garage, or anything, and what else? What else? What else? Does anybody have any questions as I'm looking around for more fun stuff? How about I love my owl pictures again. Got them in an auction. See my owl? Is that crazy? They're so cool. There's 3 of them. Aren't they the coolest thing? Say yes. They're oil paintings in fluorescent colors in these absolutely incredible frames. And I got them in an auction, and I absolutely adore them. They're so cool. They're perfect for my decor, too. So owl lovers, people love owls. Now let's put some things together. Let's combine owls and sewing. How about you sell a pillow cover pattern with an owl on it, bundled together with fabric and a needle and a thread and everything they need to make that pillow cover, for example. How about you put an owl on a t-shirt or a coffee mug, right? There are people who love owls. By the way, if you're not doing a bundle for Valentine's that says, "I will always love you," think about it. It might be a little bit late this year, but I'll always love you. It's cute. Okay, so let me see the chat here. I got to put on my glasses, right? There's that boomer woman again. We need reading glasses, but we want really cute reading glasses, and we want to have really cute, like, blingy chains to hang our reading glasses from, right? They have to be fashion statements. Okay, so Carolyn writes, my daughter would love those owls. Yes, I've gotten many an offer for them, but they're staying with me. What else we got? What else we got? Well, come on, put some ideas. Let me hear what you guys are thinking in the chat, and let me see if I can help you get into the habit of branching out with these questions. Put something in the chat that kind of came to mind during this little session here. Something you're thinking of. Anybody? Carolyn, Brent, Mary Jo. Give me something, guys. Give me something. Spelunker, kids, cooking, outside workers, electricity. That's a big one. Hiker, hunter. Hey, Mary Jo, that's a great market right there. Hunter. What else do hunters need? What do hunters need? Oh my gosh, that's okay. And hunters is also, you can also branch out and say, what other markets are like hunters? So how about what are they called? People who kind of collect a bunch of stuff and build a bunker. What are they called? Help me out, guys. And they stock up on water and granola bars, and they build preppers. There we go, prepper. Okay, so preppers is a huge market. Poke myself in the face. Preppers is a huge market, right? I sell clothespins. More ideas. Cute. Oh my gosh, do you really, Carolyn? You sell clothespins, you're so cute. So preppers. All right, well, let's take that word preppers and have some fun with it. Preppers, prep. People going to prep school. People are going to prep school are from maybe wealthier families, and they have these coming out parties. What are those girls called who are introduced to society, right? So you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, these young ladies at 17, they're introduced to society, right? So they need there's this whole like set of needs that they need for dressing up and for organizing those parties. What do they call, guys? Okay, so magnifying mirror, cosmetic travel, hanging organizer, empty bottle. Good job, Cher. Cool stuff. Magnifying mirror. Okay, let's take preppers in another direction. We can rhyme it, right? Or take the R out. Peppers. So what's peppers remind you of? Of course, food, right? But how about decor? I saw a lot of decor today at that show of you know, hanging chili peppers and metal wall art of peppers. The flip side is I'm allergic to peppers. There's an allergy called a capsicum allergy. About 10% of the population has it to one degree and another. My severity is close to death if I ingest any peppers. But what do people who have an allergy to peppers need? Well, we need to make sure we have an EpiPen and antihistamines. Okay, so what other allergies are there? There's gluten, there's milk allergy and peanut allergy. So what do these people who have these specific allergies need? And what can they ingest, right? And you start developing a list of that, typing that stuff into Amazon to see who's selling what, and run Jungle Scout. Every time you do these searches and you start finding some interesting stuff, run Jungle Scout, and then apply your sourcing criteria against the things that you're finding, and then go identify the brand owners, contact them, set up a wholesale account, and start carrying the product. Okay, so give me something else. Anything. Let's see. Mary Jo says, do you put any restrictions when making choices like the size or weight of... Well, Mary Jo, this session is all about idea generation. So I put absolutely no restrictions on what's happening right now, right? So your question is about criteria for sourcing. So you know what? Let's kind of go down that road a little bit, and I'll tell you when restrictions or putting criteria is valid. So remember in the beginning I told you that, somebody just dinged me on Facebook. I'm hoping it's not someone saying they can't get in. So let me just look at this. So in the beginning I said that there were two, no, okay. So I told you there were two parts to brainstorming. And one is brainstorming, right? So you're diverging ideas, which is what we just sort of did, throwing a bunch of stuff out there. And then you want to take those ideas and you want to converge down so you have some usable things. So by now you should all have made your own lists of some of the stuff I was throwing out there, plus some of the things that you were thinking about on your own. So what you want to do is create a list of criteria against which to evaluate all these ideas. So for instance, one of your criteria could be, I have criteria for fanatical niche market. So it has to be a group of people that are really just hungry, focused. They have to have this. They have to have stuff around whatever it is they're interested in. 2, they got to be on. They got to be online. They have to be able to buy online. 3, they have to have disposable income. Okay, so those are my basic criteria. So maybe, you know, one of those things I was talking about, or maybe, and also it's not saturated. So you don't want to be developing a garlic press. You don't want to be private labeling a garlic press or one of those avocado slicers, right? It's totally saturated. Maybe people who love cooking love those products, but there's so many people selling those products now, it's just not a viable, you know, it's fun to brainstorm about that stuff, but then you got to be real. So your criteria could be that there can be only so many sellers on a listing. Amazon is not on the listing. That's a criteria of mine. How many units are sold a month for a particular product, and what your net profit per product is. Okay? So you have to have your own set of criteria. I'm a student of the wholesale formula course that Dan Metters and Eric Lambert put together, so I use the criteria they set out, and it's working really well for me. So you have to develop your own set of criteria for your business, regardless of how you're sourcing, whether it's RA, OA, wholesale, or private label. So you take all of the lists of ideas that we just generated, and I'll do another video on this at another time focused. Actually, I'll do it next week because it's really important that you get the convergence part, because we can't just get stuck in brainstorming and, you know, it's exciting, you know, you get a little bit of a adrenaline high brainstorming, but then you don't know what to do next. So the next step of that is to converge down. And I'll do a video next week on, I use an idea evaluation tool. So it's basically just a grid, a chart. And on one side, you're going to list all of the ideas on the left side. Let's see, in your screen it would be left side, right? All the ideas that you think you might want to pursue or research. And then at the top, you want to list your criteria. And then rate those ideas against your criteria with, like, you know, a plus for, yeah, this is good, this meets this criteria, a minus if it doesn't meet your criteria, and then maybe a circle or a question mark if you're not quite sure. And like I said, I'll delve into the idea evaluation tool next week, and I'll actually get in front of a flip chart and show you how it works. And you can use this for anything. You can use that tool for deciding where to go on vacation. It helped me decide to be 100% wholesale, because what I did was put on the left-hand side, I put RA, OA, private label, and wholesale. And then I had a list of criteria at the top, like, can I outsource this? Can I do this from a laptop sitting in Starbucks? Can I do this with $1,000 investment? Whatever. And I just, and is the profit potential more than X amount, right? So I just ranked the criteria or the ideas against the criteria. And then what comes out of that, it becomes kind of visually clear when you're done filling out that chart what ideas are worth further researching or pursuing or creating a project plan on. So that's what you want to do with ideas. After you brainstorm a bunch of them, just throw up a bunch of stuff. I like flip charts and color markers. I swear there's got to be a name for people who are addicted to office supplies. Is there a word for that? Because that's me. It doesn't matter how many colored markers I have. If I see colored markers that have, I don't know, maybe they're sparkly or something, maybe they're neon, and I'll just buy them because I like office supplies, anything that I can do colors with. And I have flip charts up the wazoo, and whiteboards, and all sorts of fun stuff, and magnets for the whiteboards. So I get out a flip chart, and I just start, I might put, I have the 3M flip charts now too. They're like sticky note flip charts, which is really cool. So if I'm doing a brainstorming session, like when I do my goal setting for the year, well, I do it a couple times a year, but I clear space on my walls, and I just lay it all out. I brainstorm, and I throw a bunch of stuff out, and I'll have like all these flip chart pages on my wall. Yeah, there's a reason I'm single. Anyway, so I'll just brainstorm out, and then when I'm done the brainstorming, I'll start kind of checking off the items on the lists that maybe are related to each other, or you know, how can I group all of those ideas into smaller groups, related topics, related ideas. And then I'll create a matrix and brainstorm my criteria against which to evaluate those ideas. And then when I'm all done, I have a plan of action for maybe 2 or 3 things, 1, 2, or 3 things, and priorities. Now, you don't have to use flip charts. You don't have to go big. You can just sit down with a piece of paper and just start looking at things differently, just with a different eye, asking the right questions. Who uses this? Who else uses this? Why do they use it? What else do they use? And just start answering those questions. How are we doing, everybody? Let me hear you sound off in the chat so I know we're kind of on the same page. I haven't put you guys to sleep or anything. Give me something in the chat. Everybody there? Great, thanks. Hi, Mary Jo. Thank you. Share, Carolyn. Good stuff. Okay, so nothing in the chat, so I'm hoping there's still some people left in the webinar. All right, we got a few in here. There we go. Hi, guys. Okay. I know you guys are probably, you know, you got stuff going on in the background, and hi, guys. Thank you. Just give me a little bit of feedback so I know I'm not talking to myself, because my neighbors probably think I'm nuts when they hear me doing this. Thank you, Carol. Oh, you're thinking. Oh, I like this. I like that. Oh, okay, so I can't help myself, especially when I get in this mode. You see what I just did with my hair? I did this, just to kind of get it off my neck. And the second I did that, I'm like, oh, Pippi Longstocking. In my head, this is what I hear. Pippi Longstocking. Ooh, I haven't braided my hair in a while. I wonder what that would look like. And, oh, that would be really cool if there was a tool that would braid my hair. And, boy, what if I had a laminated poster of all the different braids I could do in my hair? Who else needs their hair braided? Kids go into their prom, brides, bridesmaids. So once you open up the floodgates of thinking differently, something that you would do normally like that could completely, one part of your brain could just start going and going off in a tangent, and then you start typing into Amazon, ooh, hair braiding device, right? Or hair accessories. That might be a little bit saturated, but you see what I'm saying? How about hair color? Yes, I'm normally a lighter blonde, but I've gone a little bit kind of a reddish blonde, and it seems to work for me. I don't glow in the dark quite as much anymore. So hair color. Now we're back to boomers, right? We like looking pretty. Who needs hair color? Who else needs hair color? Why do they need hair color? So towards the end of my mom's life, she had cancer, and she pretty quickly lost her hair. So we were, okay, so we're on to hair now. So wigs. How about bandanas? What else do cancer people who are going chemo? What else do they need? What other things do they need, right? And just start generating a list of ideas of what people need. It's a mindset shift. Instead of saying, oh, what can I sell? How can I get people to buy my stuff? You can't get anybody to do anything. What you can do is find out what's important to them. Find out what they need and what they desperately need, what they want, what they fanatically want, and then find a way to source that wholesale after you identify what it is they want and why. And then when you start writing your copy and you start writing your keywords, you can do that from the perspective of behind their eyes. Why do you need this? Why is this important to you? What are they going to be searching for on Amazon to find your product? Well, the only way to figure that, the best way to figure that out is to get out of yourself and put yourself in their shoes. Why do they need this? Yeah, okay, so I'm not using cancer as a, so let's give me something else. So I have another idea to go down a rabbit hole that's a little bit more fun. Something here, let's see. I've tried doing a sewing bundle, but having trouble finding wholesalers. Okay, so Cher, the first thing I think is do something else. If it's not working, then do something else. Or dig a little bit deeper. Or you don't have to find the wholesalers. So why don't you put it up on Fiverr.com for $5 or Upwork.com and outsource for $10 somebody to research a list of manufacturers of sewing notions and let them do the research for you while you go find other products, right? So that solves both problems. You have somebody else do that work, and while you go and stop being frustrated about that project and go do another project while they give you results, okay? So camping supplies, that's a big one. Why do people go camping? Answer the question, why do people go camping? And who goes camping? And what else are they doing when they're camping? And when are they doing? Escape, great. What else are they doing when they camp? Bonding, swimming, hunting, climbing trees, climbing rocks, hiking, whitewater rafting, right? So you start asking questions. Why are they doing this? And what else do they need while they're doing this? How about camping games for kids? How about they have to get to where they're going, so they have to drive long distances to get to the camping site, right? How do you keep kids busy in the car? And that's just one little idea. What do they need when they get there? Camping equipment. And that's, I mean, you could just type in camping equipment on Amazon and go, you could be on Amazon for a good, 8 hours doing your research on camping equipment, right? How about if something breaks, what replacement part do they need for that? People don't think about that niche, right? So let's say you have a piece of expensive camping equipment and it breaks and you need part for it. Start doing research on, tent parts, or I don't know, talk to me about camping. You guys know about camping more than I do. I've been a couple times, but it's always been where's the hotel for me? Where's the hot tub? Relaxing, escape. Okay, who needs to escape? Who else needs to escape? Let's take the word escape. People in jail. Okay, guys, I wasn't going to share this with a whole lot of people because I just thought of it this morning, or I'm sorry, yesterday morning it came to me. So I was listening to the news, which I really try not to do recently, but I was listening to the news, and on it, it said, because of the wall that is being built on the border between the U.S. and Mexico, it is anticipated that there will be a much greater need for new prisons to be built, and most prisons are privately owned. Think about that. New prisons being built. People in that prison, what do they need? Utensils and security equipment and bulletproof vests and cots and toilet paper, right? So what do these facilities need? So I decided, because I like doing boots on the ground, it's fun. I'm an ex-journalist and I like getting out there and kind of experiencing what's going on. I'm not going to like commit a crime so I can get put in jail. That's not what I'm talking about, guys, okay? I'm going to go visit a prison and I'm going to talk to them and ask them what sort of things they have to buy in bulk. Now, a lot of people don't think about selling bulk on Amazon, but you can. So when you pull up your Amazon account, there's a section there that asks you if you signed up to be a business seller, that's to sell to businesses. So why couldn't you sell toilet paper in bulk to businesses? What else do businesses need in bulk? What kind of businesses are there? Oh my gosh, right? A manufacturing business might need to buy, I don't know, a self-sealing stem bolt in bulk for a specific industry, maybe for the automotive industry. So start thinking, you know, what do people need and why? And then go find manufacturers for it. Okay, what else? Can I plug my USB into your ear? How? Seriously? I need to download your creative brain. That'd be kind of cool. Boy, I might be able to sleep a whole night through if that were the case, if I could offload that. Carol, I think what I'm trying to do here, let me just make sure that we're right on time because I want to respect your guys' time. Yeah, we're good. Can I borrow a USB, Carol? You know what? Everything starts with an awareness, right? And the purpose of this webinar is to help you get some awareness. So to help you see that it is possible to look at anything from multiple perspectives. Somebody said something to me. It was a professor in college. My last year of university, I decided I was going on student exchange to Germany. And actually it ended up, after I finished my degree there, I ended up moving to Germany and then to Holland, and it was an amazing experience. But he said to me, Barbara, and I didn't understand it at the time, although I'd taken, you know, 8 years of German in high school and university, I didn't know. I couldn't speak it till I got there, and I was completely lost, right? So towards the end, towards the end of my stay in America, where I was ready to get on a plane and do my semester in college in Germany, I almost chickened out. Right? I almost chickened out. Okay, so he said to me, to help me over the hump, he said, Barbara, every time you learn a language, here's the world, and every time you learn a language, you get a different perspective on the globe, on the world. You gain a different perspective. So I'm fluent in a couple of languages, and I have a spattering of a couple more because I wanted to be able to understand. And I also watch news in German and the UK news because I want to see the different perspectives of the world. So your perspective, your personal perspective, speaking to each of you individually, is just really narrow. And once you start learning another language, which is creativity, the language of creativity, of brainstorming, once you start learning that language, and you know, it is tough in the beginning. When you learn any kind of language, there's stumbling blocks. But there comes a point where you start dreaming in that language, and your brain sort of makes this switch, right? And when you reach, as long as you keep working at it, when it switches, there's no switching back. You can't unlearn creative thinking. Okay, so that's my 20% input to you guys. I know that's a long story to bring it back around again, but hopefully it illustrated my point. Any other questions? USB. All right, so Carol and CK are joking about a USB to plug into my ears. So I'm going to challenge you guys to look at USB. What does USB mean? Throw it out there. It doesn't have to be the right answer. Come on, give me something. How about unsightly skin blemish? Unsightly skin blemish. Okay, let's go with that. So Unsightly skin blemish. Who has USBs? And why do they have them? Well, we're back to the boomers again. You know, they get age spots, right? And we want to cover them or we want to get rid of them. And what do you use to get rid of them? Who else might have an unsightly skin blemish? And what else could USB mean? Come on, guys. Help me out here. What else? Not universal something. Come up with something else. What else can USB mean? Think of a U word. Unusual, unique. Think of an S word. Silly, unique, silly, brainstorming. Boom. That's tonight's subject. USB. Unique, silly, brainstorming. So what I just did in my head was, I took like the U and then I ran through the alphabet in my head. U-A, U-B, U-B, no, U-C, U-D, U-E, like really fast to see what kind of words would snap, like when you're playing Scrabble, right? So this is our unique, silly brainstorming session, USB. All right, what else? Give me something else. Got a little bit of time left. Ask me some questions. Do you guys understand? I know you get, I mean, you're all smart folks here. I know you get what I'm saying, but do you have any questions on what will help you? Like, should I give you homework? That would be cool, right? Let me give you an assignment. Your assignment tonight is to look at just one thing in your house. And I don't mean something like crazy silly, but just look at one thing that, you know, I was going to order this on Amazon tonight, right? Look at one thing differently tonight and get out a piece of paper and ask yourself your questions of who uses this? Who else uses this? Why do they use it? And what else do they use? And then why do they use that? And then what else do they use? And then who else uses that? So you're asking why, who, what, who else? What do they use it for? And just start brainstorming a list and then get on Amazon and type a couple of those in and see what comes up and start going down rabbit holes. You guys taking me up on my challenge of this unique, whatever it was, USB? Okay, wholesale question. There are 10 prime sellers, but only 3 FBA sellers meet the price. Do you consider only? Hey, sure, that's an awesome question. Go ahead and ask that in my Deal Diva group. But this session right here, we're just going to talk about brainstorming. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of sourcing wholesale or RA or OA or creating listings. This is just about creative thinking, okay? But I promise I'll look at that question and answer it if you go over to Deal Diva Barbara on Facebook and ask it in there, and then a bunch of other people will answer you too so you have a good answer. So let's get back on track, share. I have creative thinking here. Say that again, please. Got interrupted. Carol, what do you want me to say again? Unique, your assignment. I want you to find one thing in your house, but like, it doesn't have to be unusual or crazy. Just something that's in front of you that you just take for granted. It's just there. It could be a hair clip, right? It could be anything. And then take the word clip and find something that rhymes with that. Sip or dip, right? And then what kind of dips? Well, there's cheese dip, there's chocolate dip, there's a dip in a pool, so take something that's in front of you that you're used to seeing, that you normally would just see this as what it is, and challenge yourself to see it differently and ask those questions. What is this? Who uses it? Why do they use it? Who else might use this? What else might they use? And just start writing down those ideas and then get on Amazon and type a couple of those things in and see what kind of products come up and start digging down a rabbit hole. I'm curious to see if you guys, well, first, if you actually do it, I hope you do. If you're not ready yet, that's okay too. But I'm curious of, after you've done this, go into Deal Diva group and share what you came up with, just some funny ideas. Don't censor yourself. Remember, the rule for brainstorming is everything goes uncensored. Don't censor it in your head saying, oh, that's a stupid idea. Well, everybody sells that. Well, I could never find a wholesaler for that. Let all that go, all right? Just let it go. If you need to have a glass of wine or something to turn off that little, that critic in your brain, whatever. No, I have not had a glass of wine. Sadly, this is my default setting. Yeah, scary. Scary, I know. So anyway, that's your assignment. And if you want to share some things that came up for you and ask any questions, ask it in facebook.com/groups/dealdiva or search for Deal Diva Barbara and you'll find me on Facebook. You can also go to dealdivawholesale.com and I got a bunch of articles up there and you can place comments on them. I'm on YouTube now too, which is kind of cool. So you can go place some comments up there and questions, and I'll answer them. So anyway, has this been helpful for you guys? Our USB, our unique, whatever we came up with, I didn't write that down. Cannot find Deal Diva group. All right, let me put that in the chat here. www.facebook.com/groups/Deal Diva. Go ahead and click on that link, and that will take you over there. Kenya says, thanks, Barbara, great ideas. I'll take that challenge, Kenya. Oh, I want to hear what you come up with. This is going to be fun. Take 2 words and find the intersection. You want me to do that, or you? Is this like, you know, that we're all, what, 5 degrees away from Kevin Bacon? Is that one of those challenges? Let's see, CK says, or do you focus on single items to source? Do you bundle with your creative ideas? It depends. That's one of those legal, like lawyers say, it depends, right? It depends. Depends what the research shows. I do bundle. And I also sell individual items. And it depends what, it doesn't, what I think doesn't matter. It's irrelevant what I think. What you think doesn't matter. Here's what matters. What is the data telling you? When you go to Amazon and you start searching for products in niche markets, what does the Amazon's data tell you will sell? What does Amazon's data tell you is a fanatical niche market? And then you start dissecting that market by asking, what do these people who love taxidermy or chickens, why do they love chickens? What else do they love? Where do they live? Do they live on farms? Are they collectors? Are they living in a dusty mansion that's, you know, haunted? Or, you know, and build yourself a profile of who those buyers would be, and then ask yourself what else they're buying. And start thinking, put yourself in the brain, in the heart of your customers. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter what I think. These are all just ideas. It matters what the data tells you. Okay, so what other question? Carol, did you say you wanted me to take 2 words and find the intersection? Oh, what 2 words? How about glass and cell phone? Glass and cell phone. So glass rhymes with class, and I'm guessing in schools you're not allowed to take your cell phone in class. So could you find a device that will alert a kid that they've been texted without the teacher knowing it in class? I don't know, that's just off the top of my head. I'm sure I could go a little bit further given 30 seconds. But we are bumping up to the top of the hour, and I wanted to be respectful of your time. I think it's awesome that you guys, let's see, Carol said, no, that's not what you do. Cannot find it. I'm not sure what you're saying, Carol. No, that's what I do. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying. But did you guys find the Deal Diva group? Oh, hang on a second. I think I did that privately. Let me see if I can send everyone. Here we go. Okay, here's the group. Sorry. I accidentally did that wrong. Boom. Okay. And, okay, so does anybody have any last minute questions? Anything you need clarified? Tell me what you need. Okay. So everybody, if you feel like it, go do your homework, share it in the Deal Diva group, share your aha moments and your experience with it, so we can kind of talk about it a little bit and help you train your brain to learn a new language, the language of creativity. Thank you, this was great. Thanks again. Sorry, I was saying that is what I do. I take 2 words and find the intersection. It leads to product ideas. What a cool idea. I'm going to play with that, Carol. Carol takes 2 words and finds the intersection. And it leads, what do you mean the intersection, Carol? Give us an example. So Carol's typing, so she finds 2 words and finds the intersection. Say, Carol, go ahead and put that in the Facebook group, Deal Diva. Give us kind of a little explanation of that so we can learn from you too. So we are all creative beings. We were made that way. Remember when you were a child and you saw the world with wonder? Well, that's still there. And all of our life experiences and the stuff that comes up as we grow up and become adults, well, that's okay, but that little child is still in there. So I want you to let your little inner child, say that 3 times fast. Let your inner child loose, have some fun with creativity, and look at things with wonder again, as though you didn't know what this is and you've never seen it in your life. What would your imagination think it is, right? So go do your homework and share it in the Deal Diva group. It is so cool that you guys came here tonight and hung out. Oops, somebody posted, sorry, I was saying. Okay, so Carol, just go ahead and post that in the group. And I'll save this chat, and I'll also kind of post in my Deal Diva group some stuff that was in the chat that we can all revisit. So go ahead and join us in the group, Deal Diva Barbara, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, everybody, for coming along on the ride with me, and ask me any questions you want in the Deal Diva group, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks. Have a great night. Bye.